Coming up tonight on Delmarva Sports Insider, it was a battle of the city of Salisbury as Parkside met Y-High at Wicomico County Stadium. Highlights from the high-profile showdown are straight ahead.
And Woodbridge and Wilmington Friends would come down to the final seconds. See who came out on top later on in the show.
And still to come, Seaford, still in their search of their first win of the season, hosted St. Andrews earlier tonight. Highlights are coming up in just a bit.
It's Friday night, and it's time for Delmarva Sports Insider, the only show giving you in-depth analysis to local sports here across Delmarva, alongside Jeff Harris, Jonah Restuccio. I'm Ryan Eldridge, and guys, a lot to get into tonight, a big week, and we start with our Delmarva Sports Insider Game of the Week right here in the Bayside.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Two rivals and two of our top 5 teams in our power rankings, Parkside and Y-High. Now, look at the scene before the game. Love this aerial shot of Wicomico County Field. The Ram faithful out in full force supporting their head coach, Brendan Riley, but Parkside would trail 6-0 in the second quarter. That is until the run game caught fire. Marcus Yarns shedding tackles and stretching to cross the goal line, making it 7-6. The Rams, they take the lead.
And then the defense, Jeff and Ryan would step in as well.
Yeah.
Jamal Matthews laying out to force the eye, and Taylor, that gorgeous pick by the senior. And Yarns, he would just add on from there. I'm not sure what this kid's been drinking the last few games. He takes it in from 14 yards out, dragging defenders.
Look at this.
That's Dom Bailey.
That's Dom Bailey.
He's not a small kid.
D1 prospect
in
from all over the
for 6.
all over the country. That's right. Then to seal the deal, Elijah Bivens rumbling, tumbling into the end zone. Parkside goes on to score 21 unanswered points in this one. All 3 touchdowns on the ground as they move to 3-1 on the season. The final in this one, 21-6.
It was very intense. Everybody was ready to go. Everybody had one heartbeat, one sound. We was ready.
2 touchdowns in this game. What'd you see on the first one to kind of open up the score?
Man, I seen the hole. I had to exploit it. Man, the same thing. I was feeling it. I had to eat.
You know, I told our guys that this was going to be a team deal. That if we came out and you know, it was a battle of attrition, and the idea is that if we continue to do what we do, we're going to be in a good situation in order to be able to make plays. And you know, our defense played outstanding again, and I thought that, you know, our offense kept clicking, started getting it together, and started doing what they need to do. And you know, they're running behind a young offensive line, and the backs are just doing an outstanding job.
All right, Jeff Harris, I'll start with you. Yeah, honestly, we could talk about the young man that got the
Marcus
doing that James Harden, Ezekiel Elliott, but something else. I mean, what else did you get out of this game tonight? What else did you see?
Well, defense. Yeah. Now, we saw it. So, Y-High goes up 6-0 at the end of that first quarter. Then they buckle down. You go into halftime, and Coach Riley says to his team, we need to shut out this team in the second half in order to win. And that's exactly what they did. 21 unanswered points. They did it on the defensive side of the ball. You saw the pick there by Jamal Matthews. You saw some of the fumbles and some of the other plays that they were able to make on the defensive side of the ball. We'll get to the offensive side because I know that's what Joe is going to talk about. But defensively, shutout in the second half, and they win.
Right, just a great game. And Jonah, we got to ask you, what did you see out of the game tonight? Is there a play, something that stood out to you?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's happened over the course of the last 2 games, but from the second half of Easton Parkside, if we remember back to last week, the run game for the Rams has really just been unstoppable, specifically Marcus Yarns. Let's take a look. Another feature on our play breakdown, a guy who loves to bounce to the outside. He hits the juke, he lowers the shoulder. This kid's middle name is Effort. Look at that. Extends while he's held up. Great sense of balance. Now, Parkside utilized 5 running backs on the night. Elijah Bivens, talk about a Ram just going up the middle. Again, 5 running backs making an impact throughout the game. Jeff, you said it. 21 unanswered points, and he's a junior that we saw put in a lot of work in the offseason on After the Whistle, so we can see that it's truly paying off here for him as someone you got to work with closely.
Yeah, exactly. Elijah Bivens putting the work in the weight room, obviously helping tonight, pushing in that 3rd and final touchdown. You also saw number 34 there, Brady Smith, also helping Marcus Yarns find the end zone as well. But Parkside, a lot of talent, offensive and defensive side of the ball, and a very good matchup next week against Kent Island. So we're going to see a 3-1 team up against an undefeated team. Just good football.
And I'm sure we're not done with that game just yet, but for now, let's send it over to Drew Williams with more from across the Bayside.
Thanks, guys. Let's jump right into the rest of the Bayside action tonight, and let's start off in Easton. In the second half, the Warriors up 28-7 at this point, but that changes very quickly. Brandon Skoll looking deep, and he hooks up long with Sharon Long for a touchdown, and that one really a good start to go. And then quickly after an onside kick recovery, Skull going right back to work, airs this one out, connects with Micah Reddish, who does the rest of the work, and Bennett cuts the lead now to just one possession, so it's starting to get a little more interesting. And then Bennett again, this time Reddish on the goal line, just mows his way through the defensive line into the end zone to tie it up at 28. And of course, if you're talking about Bennett, it's got to be their X factor. Saquon Cotton points out his block, and he just tap dances his way all the way down the sideline into the end zone for a touchdown. Bennett scores 56 unanswered points, and they win 56-28. And over in North Carolina, they're hosting Queen Anne's, and it was all about the Bulldogs offense early. Bulldogs in the red zone, and Will Manship gets the carry on the jet sweep, spins through a tackle, and marches his way into the touchdown. Shows off some Santonio Holmes on the Jets. And then the same exact play with the same exact result. Here's Manship again on the sweep, working toward the outside, finds some real estate, and he's into the end zone. Under a minute left to play in the first half, and the Bulldogs turn to Joey Bildstein, charges his way down the sideline, weaves through some tacklers, and tacks on yet another score. Bulldogs win this one 41-6, and they stay undefeated on the season. And then in Cambridge, the Vikings hosting Colonel. First play of the game, Jason Roberts picks off Jackie Zebron for the pick six. Cambridge would have the 27-14 lead at the half. And second half was all Colonels. After an opening drive score, Jordan Gabriel finds the end zone to make it just a one-point game, 27-26. And then Cambridge would tack another score, but Gabriel again, 33-32, CSD after the failed two-point conversion, and CR definitely needing a stop, but Khalil Beasley with a 50-yard score for the icing on the cake. Vikings winning a shootout 39-32 over Colonel. Jeff, Jonah, back to you guys with some more of those scores.
Yeah, thanks so much, Drew. A lot more going on in the Bayside. Now, two more games going on tonight. The first, look at this score. Top left corner, Kent County and Snow Hill, 56-0. Snow Hill, guys, yet to score any points this season.
And staying up in the Kents, I'll just say it like that. Island with a 27-6 win over Stephen Decatur. The Bucks improved to 4-0. Guys, they're one of the two undefeated teams left in the Bayside after tonight.
I got to ask you guys, what did you see tonight out of the Bayside? What did you like?
Oh, I loved Parkside on the ground.
Better.
Let me tell you, old school football is what I like to see. You have pocket-style quarterbacks that don't run to the outside. Enjoy the Wildcat, but nonetheless, love to see running backs get involved, defensive effort on the side of the ball. Now, also, we saw Easton giving up a lead. That's something I did not like, but on the opposite side, Bennett coming back and scoring 56 unanswered points is something that I loved.
Jonah.
In Bennett, they had that short week. They played on Monday against Nandua. They come out on Friday and score 56 unanswered against a tough Easton team. But I just got to say really quick, can anyone stop North Carolina and Kent Island? It seems that whoever goes up against them, it's those two teams at the top of the Bayside, especially in the North. So I cannot wait for that final game of the season when those two teams match up for their one and only time of the regular season. Who knows what happens?
Like last year, they met in the postseason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you never know what happens comes postseason play, but those two teams are just top of their game right now.
All right, well, a lot to think about, a lot to digest as we continue on through this show. But for now, it's time to hit our first break of the night. When we return, we head up to Delaware.
That's exactly right, Ryan. And we had a dogfight in Woodbridge as the Blue Raiders hosted Wilmington Friends. These are must-see highlights, I'm telling you, coming up next on DSI.
This is Kayshawn Tomlinson from Kent Island High School, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.